Hi, I'm Jack Farland. Welcome to Farland Classic Restoration. Off to a great start. We have some wonderful projects in the shop. This first one's a 1971 280 SL Mercedes that's had a complete ground-up restoration. It's original colors, and it's absolutely beautiful. This car is really close to being done. We're just doing the last little bits of interior work. The hubcaps are going to go on. That blue stuff's going to come off the wheels, and this car is going to drive out the door. Cars don't just come one at a time. Over the years, we'll get one interesting car, and another one just like it will show up. Right now, these cars are multiplying. This is another 1971 280 SL Mercedes. We just finished redoing the interior, redoing the wood, putting a new beautiful convertible soft top on it. And then the final touch was we did a paint correction and took all the old scratches and chips off of it. And this car looks like it just got freshly painted, when in fact it's a paint job that's probably over 20 years old. And then as we come over here, we have yet another 280 SL Mercedes. I think we're getting invaded. This one's a 1968, came out from California, and it was partially finished, and they couldn't quite get it wrapped up where it was in California, and we're doing a complete new interior, finishing the engine compartment. We'll get it running. We're going to do some paint touch-up. Currently, we're doing some sanding and polishing. This car was repainted not that many years ago, but they never finished it. So we're doing all the finish work. A lot of times they call us the finishers. We get that last 5 or 10% done on a project. This is a 1971 Porsche 911 Targa. Again, it's a project that was not finished, and we're going to finish it, redo the interior. We've got it running now mechanically, and when we're finished, it's going to look like a beautiful car. This is a 2008 Porsche that we just got done doing some paint work on. It had a lot of scratches and chips and so forth, and now it doesn't have any of those things, and it's looking like a brand new car. We also installed a brand new soft top on that car, and that's an electric, modern soft top. It's quite complex. Not just anybody can put a soft top on one of those newer version Porsches. And then behind it, this is a very unusual car. It's a 1973 Maserati Bora. The Bora was Maserati's first mid-engine supercar. These cars went nearly 170 miles an hour when they were new. They have a dual overhead cam V8 engine in the back, produces quite a lot of horsepower. I took this car out for a short ride, and before you know it, it was going 100 miles an hour, and it was like I was sitting in my living room. The car is so stable and so easy to drive. A beautiful and interesting car. As we come in toward our paint booth, we have a 1967 Alfa Romeo. This car, we did metal work. We're doing a complete paint job on the car, which is actually finished. We put new wiring, and right now we're going to do a bottom coating with a special product that's very similar to a bed liner, and it's going to protect the bottom from future rust or chips. The car is going to be going out by the ocean where it's going to reside on the East Coast. And when we're finished with it, it's going to go down to Texas to Moment Motors, and they're going to put an electric drivetrain in this car, which is going to make it really fun to drive and pretty fast. So we're very excited about that. This unusual car is a 1967 Amphicar. It has propellers that go on the back because this car actually goes in the water. It's the original boat car. You could drive it off the road onto a boat ramp and actually down into a lake and drive around with your propellers, and the front wheels are what steers it. Doesn't steer very well, but they are quite collectible. And this customer's owned the car for many years. We've patched a lot of rust holes where water could get in, and now we're getting ready to paint the car. And we'll put a new interior in it and get it back to the point where it can go in the water again. He's very excited about that. This is a 1967 Jaguar XKE 4.2-liter Roadster. We're doing a complete frame-off restoration. We're very close to paint on this car, just trying to decide what color. It was originally a dark green. We're thinking it's going to go to a lighter silver or maybe a blue color. It's up in the air. The owner has to decide. One thing for sure, it's going to be beautiful. This is what we call the productive side of the shop. Over there we do polishing and putting together. Over here we build these projects. We have metal finishing, mechanical work, fabrication. That all happens over here. This is a 1959 Mercedes 190 SL. It was in a barn for 20 years full of mice. We got it cleaned up, got rid of the mice, and it took quite a bit of time to get it running. We had to do brakes and engine and radiators and everything you can imagine to get the car to the point where it's drivable, which it now is. And now the car has a new owner, and he's going to finish this beautiful project, and it's going to be a valuable car. I've driven it, and it's really nice to drive. This little car is a gorgeous 1958 Porsche Speedster. These are rare, very collectible. This car was painted over 20 years ago at another very good shop in Denver. And then for whatever reason, the owner ended up putting the car into storage where it sat for a long time till we figured out what the next steps were going to be. So we got it running. We've got the brakes done. Of course, the car is now on the ground. When it came here, it was on a cart. We're finishing out all the trim. We'll put a new interior in it, and we're going to return this car to the road. It's going to be beautiful, collectible, and a lot of fun to drive. You can see they did a beautiful job on the body, and we're doing a beautiful job finishing this car off. We store all the parts on a shelf where everything is separated and labeled. We try to keep it as organized as we can, which is always a challenge because when these cars come apart, they take up a lot of space, and there's a lot of parts. This is a 1970 BMW 2002. We did some paint work, and we had the wheels refinished. This is a small project, but we do a lot of small projects for our customers. Sometimes they have many cars, and one car might only need a little bit of work, and we're always happy to help out with that kind of a thing. This is a 67 Camaro that got media blasted, and when they took the paint off, they found it had many issues with the body underneath. So we're replacing a large number of the body panels on the car. They're going to have all new metal. It's going to be nice and straight. We'll have everything lined up with proper gaps. It's going to look 1,000% better when it's painted. And we probably will paint the car as well. We've got some very unique muscle cars over here. We specialize in 50s to 70s, even 80s sports cars. But lots of our customers also love American muscle cars. And it's seldom that you'll come to our shop where you won't see something interesting. This is a one-of-one Dodge Challenger. It's got a 440 in it. When they did the research on it, it turned out they only built one with this color, which is Panther Pink, with the special stripes, with the engine, with the shaker hood. It's a very unusual car. This other one is a Barracuda. This is called an AAR Cuda. It's again a very rare car. It's got a 340 engine with a 6-pack. Always been one of my favorite cars. When these came out brand new, they were really special. They were designed to run in a special racing series. They had a lightweight aluminum hood, a light, powerful engine, and they were a lot of fun to drive. This is an unusual Firebird. This is a 1978, and it's all original paint. We've done all kinds of mechanical work on the car. Daryl, our mechanic, has done the bottom. He's put new shocks, new springs, new bushings, made the car into something that'll drive a lot better. This is a very special high-performance engine. This is the Ford Illuminator 5.2 XS. This engine was built to put in the Shelby GT350 car that they used as a track racer. It's not normally put in a lot of resto mod projects, but we have a very special car that it's going in. This engine produces about 580 horsepower and it's naturally aspirated. It's got a flat plane crank, it's got a wicked sound, and it is something quite special. It's a very expensive engine. This engine costs more than most people's car. We'll show you what it's going to go in next. This is the car that very special engine's going to go in. This is a beast in its own right. This is one of the original 44 unique performance Shelby GT500 Eleanors. These cars were made as a tribute to the movie Gone in 60 Seconds. This is a very, very speedy car. Now we're putting an engine in it that's going to make a lot more power. It's going to weigh less. We're excited to see what the result's going to be. As we got working on it, we found out that the front chassis in here had a lot of problems. So we had to cut out the frame rails. We had to install new rails. These big mounting brackets on the top are going to hold an aluminum subframe. So the car will get all new front suspension. It'll get that new engine, a new transmission. And we're expecting that it's going to be a very exciting car for the owner to drive. Follow along with this car and any of our other projects at farlandclassicrestoration.com on the internet or farlandcars.com. We're on Instagram and Facebook. Please subscribe and follow along if you want to see the progress of this car and see what kind of trouble it causes when we get that mad engine put in this thing.